Daniel Ross had always lived a quiet, predictable life in his small hometown. But everything changed the day he met Liana Cruz, a soft-spoken, charming Filipino woman he found on a language exchange app. What started as short voice notes slowly turned into late-night calls, shared secrets, and a strange emotional connection Daniel had never experienced before. She was warm, funny, and spoke to him as if she had known him for years. Within months, Daniel became convinced that Liana wasn't just another online friend. She was the woman he had been searching for all his life. So when she asked him to visit Manila, he didn't hesitate. He sold his gaming PC, postponed his office contract, bought a ticket, and boarded a plane with a trembling heart. At the airport, everything felt unreal. The humidity, the chaos, the noise, but none of it mattered because she was there. Liana, holding a small cardboard sign with his name, smiling exactly like her pictures. For a moment, Daniel felt he had made the best decision of his life. They spent hours walking through Makati's busy streets, eating street food, and listening to Liana talk about her dreams. But Daniel couldn't ignore something strange. Liana kept glancing behind her, checking her phone, and avoiding certain roads. Every time he asked, she gave the same answer: nothing. Don't worry. But worry started growing inside him. On their first night, Liana insisted they stay in a cheap hotel instead of the one Daniel had booked online. It's safer, she said. Daniel didn't understand why, but he trusted her. And that trust would soon throw him into the most unbelievable 48 hours of his life. Later that night, as he lay half asleep, he heard it. A soft knock on the door. Then another. Then louder. Liana's face went pale. She whispered, "Don't open it." Daniel felt a cold wave crawl down his spine. Outside the door, someone was waiting. The knocking stopped, but the unease didn't. By morning, Liana was acting even more nervous. She barely spoke during breakfast and checked her phone every few seconds. Daniel tried to lighten the mood, but something was clearly haunting her. When he stepped into the bathroom, he heard her whispering on a call, a whisper filled with fear. And when he walked out, she instantly ended it, forcing a smile. They decided to visit Intramuros to take photos, but even there Daniel noticed a man following them, pretending to be a tourist, yet always keeping them in sight. When Daniel pointed this out, Liana grabbed his hand tightly and said, "Please, not here. Not now." Hours later, when they returned to the hotel, Liana suddenly changed her tone. She said she needed to go home for a few hours to fix a family issue. Daniel offered to go with her, but she refused, almost desperately. Then she left. That was the last time he saw her that day. By evening, Daniel's messages weren't delivered. Her phone showed switched off. The hotel staff claimed they had no record of Liana checking in with him. In fact, the receptionist said, "Sir, you checked in alone." Panic began tightening around Daniel's chest. He rushed outside, searching the streets, but there was no sign of her. And then, as he stood at a quiet corner near the hotel, a man approached him. The same man who had been following them earlier. Before Daniel could run, the man flashed an ID card. "Stop, I'm with the local investigation unit," he said. Daniel froze. The man revealed the truth that hit Daniel like a bullet. Liana wasn't just afraid, she was being hunted. Not by random people, but by a small criminal group involved in forgery and identity trafficking. The group used naive foreign men to carry gifts into the country. Gifts that secretly contained documents used in their scams. Daniel had unknowingly brought one. Daniel finally understood the truth. The small gift Liana had asked him to bring was actually hiding forged documents connected to a criminal group. But instead of anger, he only felt worry for her. The investigator explained that Liana had been forced into this network because of her younger brother's medical bills. She wasn't trying to use Daniel, she was trying to survive. With the investigator's help, Daniel traced her to a small apartment in Quezon City. When they entered, Liana didn't run. She simply sat on the floor, crying, and whispered, "I didn't want you involved." Daniel realized she wasn't the villain. She was a victim of her circumstances. The investigator gave her a choice: help them expose the group, and she could avoid prison. With trembling hands, Liana agreed. Over the next day, her information helped authorities track down the people controlling her. When the operation ended, she was finally safe, free from the group that had been using her for years. Daniel stayed with her through everything. The fear, the guilt, the relief, they faced it together. And when Liana saw that he still stood beside her, she broke into tears again. But this time, with hope. Their story didn't end with danger. It ended with a promise that whatever happened next, they would face it side by side. A journey that began with a dream ended with truth. And a new beginning